What up, fantasy footballers? We're doing this week inside, mainly because it's so darn cold in the garage, but I've got some hot fantasy picks for you.
Hey.
Yeah.
Park a Red Bull, will you?
Ooh. Grumpy.
Mean Johnny Greene, he's really mean.
Doing?
Mean Johnny Greene, did we mention that he's mean?
I told you not to pick that dude, but his team, well, they suck. His arm's more suited for flipping burgers. You picked a Browns player? You're an idiot. All right, let's jump into the Week 14 quarterbacks to start. I like Kyle Orton at home versus Arizona. He's coming off probably his worst game of the year, but the Redbirds are the perfect defense for success. I also like Jake Delhomme at Buffalo. Buffalo hasn't let me down this year, and I'm sure they won't this week. Look for Jake to put up good numbers. Whew, that was a much-needed break. Let's jump into some running backs that are sure to be better than that mess. I like Jonathan Stewart at home versus Atlanta. He came back from an injury last week and had 20-plus carries. I look for him to be the lead dog in Carolina. I also like Tashard Choice. As long as Marion Barber's out, he'll continue to put up 100-yard games and look solid as a flex play for you. In Chicago, Earl Bennett is looking like a solid fantasy option at wide receiver. He's had back-to-back useful games, and New England, the worst pass defense in the league, rolls into town. I also like Anthony Armstrong versus Tampa Bay. He's a little hit or miss, but he's got 2 touchdowns on the year, and his big play potential is evident by his 20-plus yard per catch average. Yes, sir.
Too loud at my desk right now.
What are you complaining about? Trying to do a video here. Alright, for tight end, we're going to do a player I chose a little bit earlier this year. Hopefully he treats me a little better than he did last time. I like Anthony Fasano versus New York. He caught a touchdown pass against Johnny Greene in Week 3, and I expect him to do the same in Week 14. On defense, take a look at Denver at Arizona. Denver has enough defensive weapons to shut down a struggling Arizona attack. I also like Atlanta at Carolina. All you need to know in this game is Atlanta is good and Carolina isn't. All right, peeps, let's move on to the sets. This week at the quarterback position, I recommend you set down John Kitna. He takes on a tough Philadelphia defense, and chances are he's going to do less work than this guy. That says a whole lot. At the running back position, I'd look elsewhere besides Ronnie Brown at New York. Brown has a mere 3 rushing touchdowns on the season, and Johnny Greene's rush defense is the 3rd best in the league. In fact, I dare say Jamie here could rush the ball better than Ronnie this week. Dude, I was giving you a compliment. At the wide receiver position, if you're thinking about starting Terrell Owens at Pittsburgh, think again. He started his normal griping about the play calling, and that usually signals the beginning of the end for T.O. Carla, you know something about the beginning of the end, right? You got that message from HR. She will be. At the tight end position, I think twice about Kevin Boss at Minnesota. He's far too inconsistent as a pass catcher, and his on-again, off-again ways cannot be trusted in this crunch time.
Did you say something about tight end?
Whew! Who knew that Pop-Tarts could do that to a man? Anyhow, let's move on to defense. New England is perfectly suited to dismantle a Chicago defense. So if you're thinking about starting Chicago, think again. Well, as you can see, we've moved on up in the world. If you have any questions about your fantasy football team, hit me up at meanjohnnygreen@gmail.com. Otherwise, check out my updated player rankings for Week 14 at 96.3jackfm.com. Until next week, I'm Mean Johnny Greene, urging you to live the fantasy. I'm so totally fired, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.